Live from the Score Atlanta television studios in North Atlanta, this is Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. I'm your host, Craig Sager. I'll be joined today by Najee Wilkins. We will get into our fast break headlines like we always do to open the show. Do a little preview of the basketball region tournaments coming up. We'll talk about everything we have going on at scoreatl.com. And then our guest today, we have Tommy Atha coming on the show in segment 2. He is Cedartown's new head coach, hired from Darlington and replacing Jamie Abrams. So this is a very fresh hire. It just happened, so we will get his initial thoughts. Looking forward to talking to him. In segment 3, we will have the girls basketball rankings. We will have one more edition of our girls rankings and boys rankings coming out on Monday. That will be our pre-playoff rankings. Be sure to check them out. Then in segment 4, we will have Adam Clack on the show, newly hired at Parkview High School, his first head coaching job in the state of Georgia since Milton. Looking forward to that. And then our Super Bowl predictions in segment 5. Should be a great Friday show. I may even bust out some gear in that section. But let's go ahead and welcome on the show, Najee Wilkins. Najee, how's it going?
It's going good. How are you, man?
Doing well. So we've talked about some of the last basketball games. I want to hit this real quick before we get into the segments. We had Etowah and Wheeler squaring off last night. We've talked about kind of that matchup, what it means in the region. Wheeler just had a big win over Walton, and it was the question, can Etowah compete with them? They came close last time. Last night, though, Wheeler handles business 68-55. Najee, not only was that a good win for them going up against a team that was able to claw back last time, Coach Thompson talked about maybe they lost focus a little bit. This was their regular season finale, their last game of the regular season. What do you think that means just to what we thought about Wheeler for them to handle business like they did last night?
Yeah, I think it was good. We talked about obviously there being a wake-up call, them playing really tough up against Etowah. Now you finish on the road with a pretty dominant victory against a really good team, and it's going to help them as far as momentum as they build into this region tournament. They'll go in as that 1 seed, and then they can build going into the postseason, because that's what region tournament really is. That is playoff basketball, because that decides whether you get in or not. Only the top 4 seeds end up going. So for them, I think it's just, hey, we're playing at the right level. We're playing hot right now. Let's continue to streak, and let's continue to, play some good basketball. Yeah,
and Najee, real quick, we've talked about what we like about this Wheeler team. Lots of different competitors, unsung heroes on the team, the depth, the experience from last year when they got thrown to the fire. But what I see as something that's really working for them is their defense. And you look at this last game against Etowah, holding them to 55 points. They held North Paulding to 42. They beat Cherokee 95-42. Do you think that's really what it's going to take to beat a team like Grayson? Having the offense, being comfortable, getting everyone involved, but then Wheeler's defense this year, do you think they have what it takes?
Yes, I mean, when you think about, obviously, Caleb Wilson and going back to Holly Innocence in that tight game, obviously, against them, it wasn't a lot of points scored in that one. I think it was a 66-64 winner, right? So that's the kind of game you have to play. Now, Wheeler can obviously fill it up, and they can score, at a high-end level. But they got 3 guys that are elite defenders that no one talks about, right? Coda Sutter, who I think is the best two-way player regardless of position, in the 2026 class, 4-star according to ESPN. You also have Coben Landry, who's another guy that can switch out there defensively and guard 1 through 3, 1 through 4. And you have Tyler Jordan on the back end, who's a shot blocker and a guy that can protect the rim. So you got 3 elite guys at each level of your defense, that you can switch around, run different things, zones. But yes, to your point, Craig, it is going to take a really good defensive effort, and you got to make those guys uncomfortable. And at the same time, those 3 guys can also fill it up and score in bunches as well. And you still got Monster McLean, who's a sniper from 3-point range. So they have everything they need. It's going to come down to just making the plays and being able to play really good defense and using that to create easy chances on offense.
You're right. Yeah, they do have all the positions checked off, and then really what they've shown themselves in the last few weeks defensively, they know they can do it if they put the effort in, and they just got to continue to do it. That'll be a great region tournament. Starting next week, it's going to be at Walton. Looks like the first matchup for Wheeler will be against Cherokee, a team that just routed by 40 points. They'll play the winner of Walton and Etowah. All right. Now, as we got some good headlines to get into, go ahead and kick us off with headline number 1.
All right, at the top, obviously, Norcross dedicates their strength and conditioning centers to former Blue Devil great Lorenzo Carter. via their Instagram account, they said, "What's your legacy? What do people think about when they hear your name? People remember how you make them feel." And Lorenzo inspires, challenges, and loves the people he impacts every day. Always a Blue Devil. Cool story. I remember being a freshman at Norcross High School and getting a chance to see him play. Was just always, just in awe with just how he carried himself and how big of a threat he was on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, ended up going to Georgia, had a great career there, made several big impact plays against Baker Mayfield, strip sack, helping them win that game. So many great moments over the course of his career. Then gets drafted by the Giants. Plays his career there, and then now he's with the Falcons back home. And one thing that caught my eyes when Coach Maloof, when we had him on before he retired, he said, "Yeah, Lorenzo's always around. Like, regardless of wherever he was, like whenever he had a chance to be around this Norcross program, he was here." So I think that just shows just the dedication that he had, going through different adversity, and just being a really exemplary figure in that Norcross football program. And I think they did a great job just honoring him and his legacy and all the great guys that have come through that Norcross program. And now they get a really good example. It'll be interesting to see if he goes into coaching, maybe after his playing career is over. But now, just gets to have that nice accolade, of what he meant to that Norcross program.
Yep, and I was so glad the Falcons got him. And Najee, real quick, what does it mean for you, just being a Norcross alum, to see the success that was experienced around the time you were in the hallways with what Keith Maloof built, great players like Lorenzo Carter? What does it feel like to see them being honored and realizing you were in the hallways during a pretty special time at that school?
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I was so young at that time. I was only a freshman, and then when they went back-to-back, I was a sophomore. So I was really young and, still not knowing everybody, still not knowing, how great of a program like Norcross was. Because, like, when you're in it, like, obviously you hear things, but you're like, man, like, are they really that good? And then you go and you see it in person, and it's something different. But no, I mean, it was super cool being there. I remember the basketball team ended up winning at that same time too. So it was just, that's when the program was at its high. And it's similar to what you said about Norfolk County, just being the lead in all, the different sports. That's what Norcross was at that time when I was there. So it was just super cool to see that. Alvin Kamara, Miles Autry, Lorenzo Carter, and so many more that were great players that went on to the next level and became great.
Yeah, I think the equivalent real quick would be like Graham when he was at Alabama, or when they were just winning everything, or you got the Florida era with Tim Tebow and then the Al Horfords and stuff, just winning all the time. So very special. Congratulations to Lorenzo Carter. Glad to see it. All right, real quick, let's get into headline number 2. Cobb County has 45 players find new homes on the traditional National Signing Day. They obviously had a ton enroll early from a lot of the powerhouses, but some big names, and congratulations to the Campbell Spartans. They actually led the way on traditional signing day with 10 names. You can go to the Marietta Daily Journal and check that out real quick. A couple of them. You had Peyton Butler, Tennessee Tech defensive back, Emilio Cervantes going to Maryville, Harrison quarterback Xavier Hill is going to the Citadel. Hillgrove, we talked about Nick Mathis, played in the Georgia Elite Classic, got his late offer going to Wofford. Real quick at Lassiter, Bryce Parker going to Swaney. And then North Cobb's Nick Grimm said the great quarterback for the Warriors is going to Morehouse. Congratulations to him. And then Walton, we obviously had Christian Farrell coming into the studio. He's going to the University of the Cumberlands. But 45 players, congratulations to Campbell. Also, big-time job for Coach Phillips getting 10 of his boys to the next level. All right, headline number 3, real quick. Southwest Whitfield names Jesse Peppers as new head football coach. It's a big hire. Southwest Whitfield is a fairly new school up in North Georgia. To me, this is an opportunity for him to take his first coaching job. He comes from Chattooga. If you watched Chattooga this season in Class A Division I, they had the state's leading rusher was Zayden Cook. He was calling the offensive plays, so it's interesting to see if he'll go with a similar offense at Southeast Whitfield, but we will have more on scoreatl.com today in the Class 4A blog if you want to check that out. All right, headline 4 real quick. The Georgia High School Football Daily honors 9 coaches with the most improved winning teams. This is one from each classification, and then they also selected I believe, a GISA school. But the most improved programs in Class 6A, Adam Carter of Lowndes, they went from 4-6 to 10-4. Lakeside Evans in Class 5A, they had their first 10-win season since 2009 following a 3-7 finish. In Class 4A, Tyler Jones at Cambridge, first 10-win season in school history after a 6-5 finish in 2023, is also the first quarterfinal appearance. Tommy Jones in Cherokee Bluff, they followed a 4-6 record with 11-2. In Class 2A, Will Rogers of Sumter County, first 10-win season in school history. In Class A Division I, Buddy Martin of Toombs County, first state championship in school history. They improved from 4-6 to 6-5 to 11-2 and then 13-1. All right, in Class A Division II, Lincoln County, first 11-win season since 2012. Jonathan Guess, Hebron Christian, the Class 3A, Class A Private Coach of the Year, first state championship in school history. And then Eric Soliday from Tift area won the GIAA Most Improved, first 10-win season since 2018.
All right, headline 5, Craig. 8 former Georgia high school football players are on active Super Bowl rosters. Obviously, starting at the top, we all know Harrison Bucker of Westminster is one of those names. McCole Hardman is another. I also have Chiefs tackle Wanya Morris, formerly of Grayson. 49ers tight end Charlie Warner of Rabun County. 49ers wide receiver Chris Conley of North Paulding will be the first players from their high schools to play in the Super Bowl. Other Georgians include Jalen Watson of Laney, defensive end Malik Herring of Mary Persons for the Chiefs, and defensive lineman Robert Beal of Norcross. Chiefs running back Jarrett McKinnon of Sprayberry. He's on injured reserve. Defensive lineman Austin Bryant of Thomas County Central, and T.Y. McGill of Wayne County on the 49ers practice squad. Wide receiver Montreal Washington of Cherokee is on the Chiefs practice squad. Bucker, obviously we talked about him earlier, Westminster and Georgia Tech, has been instrumental in this Chief dynasty run so far in his career. Odoms of Carver Columbus with the Buffalo Bills. In the 1990s, you have Hardman, a wide receiver from Elbert County, who we mentioned a little bit earlier as well. He's been great for the Chiefs in this run as well. And looks like we also have Hall of Famer Rayfield Wright as well. So many players is in. Obviously, here you have obviously Darius Slay and Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith, obviously here in Georgia, played in the Savannah area and went to Georgia. Darius Slay has made his name as well, looking to play a couple more years before he hangs and wraps up his cleats. But so great to see all these Georgia players playing on the big stage.
Absolutely. And then real quick, let's get into our Super Bowl trivia question from yesterday. The question was, which city hosted the coldest Super Bowl ever? And the answer was New Orleans. I would not have guessed that, but
I told you.
That's your answer right there. I don't know the exact temperature, but there you have it.
I told you.
Yeah,
I told you yesterday.
You got it. Yeah, I thought it was going to be like Chicago or something like that. Soldier Field maybe. Nope, it is New Orleans. That's obviously where the Super Bowl will be this time around. But that's it for segment 1. Stay tuned. We'll be back on the other side to talk to Cedartown's new head coach.
Great teams are committed, focused on the details, and work hard to be their best. From practice to games, right down to their gear. Your field is a critical part of the game that allows your athletes to showcase their athletic abilities. Sports Turf is committed to bringing your team innovative sports surfaces with unparalleled performance. You bring the vision. Our team brings it to life.
This makes my dad proud. He went through his whole career as an employee. Now I'm the employer, something he didn't achieve.
We are signatory to IBEW and do IBEW people wherever we go that we feel like they are faster and better than any of our competition.
The advantages of being a signatory contractor is you're trained employees. You have unlimited manpower. It allows me to bid on jobs that I ordinarily would not go after.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Man, you know how to do this? Man, I don't even know. I was flipping burgers last week.
Violation, unsportsmanlike conduct, impersonating a craftsman.
Skilled trade unions are well-trained career pros, not part-timers. Construction is a rewarding and lucrative career with the advancement potential, but you have to do it the right way with the right training. Learn how you can be a pro. Find your career at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 613. Electrify your career.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily, powered by IBEW Local 613. Right now, we will be joined by Tommy Atha, Cedartown's new head football coach. Okay, Coach Atha, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. So we've got you on audio. I think the video is getting set up right now.
Okay.
But we'll go ahead and roll with audio right now. Coach, real quick, just talk about what a pleasure it is and honor to be able to step into this Cedartown program, and just maybe what stood out about Cedartown when it was on your radar before you took this job.
Well, I mean, honor is the right word. I mean, it's a tremendous honor to have the opportunity to be the head football coach at Cedartown. I mean, if anybody knows anything about football around the state of Georgia, Cedartown's a name that resonates and jumps out. So, you know, having the opportunity, especially, you know, I've been in Northwest Georgia my entire life. I actually grew up playing against Cedartown. You know, so what a storied tradition. And so, you know, having the opportunity to step in and hopefully contribute to that is certainly a tremendous honor for me.
Right, and Coach, you talked about playing and facing Cedartown over the years. I mean, what I see when coaches see Cedartown on the schedule, they know that this is just a physical football team. Obviously, it's not that they are a traditional team, does things old school. They have innovative systems, but just the style of play that they play with and the physical identity of the football team, do you feel like it does kind of stand out to some of the other programs, just the culture that they built there?
Well, you know, it's funny you mentioned that. You know, I addressed the team for the first time today. I had that opportunity. And, you know, the first thing I told them is this was true when I was a player. It was true when as a coach, because I've had the opportunity to coach against Cedartown. When you stepped out on that field against the red and black, you better buckle your chin strap because you are going to get hit. And the physicality is certainly known. You know, having been here at Calhoun for a year, Cedartown was on the schedule with those guys before I came, but that was one of the first things Coach Stevenson certainly talked about here when they played Cedartown. It was, you know, you were going to get hit and it was going to be physical.
Absolutely. And then obviously with Calhoun this year, you guys were able to win the state championship. I thought it was such a huge year for the program that had dealt with the disappointment of missing the playoffs the year before, a consequence of how tough the region they were playing in was. What did it mean for you just at Calhoun this last year to see a program that was coming off maybe a frustrating season, being able to make the run that they did, improve throughout the season, and be able to really turn things around?
Well, I think what was most encouraging was to see the progress that these kids made throughout the whole year. You know, I mean, they you know, from what I understand, you know, as soon as that last season was over, they were in the weight room, and by the time I got there, that was certainly evident. And the kids at Calhoun are fully bought in, and, you know, tough non-region schedule. And, you know, we had to earn our stripes early on against some really good football teams. And we did that and continued to battle and continued to get better. And, you know, one of the things that I think stood out, and I think this is indicative of all really good programs that make deep runs, you know, we hit our stride at the right time, which was right after region play. And we're really continuing to improve all the way through and just peaked at the absolute right time.
And then, Coach, you talked about addressing the team for the first time. I mean, obviously there's similarities when you have two great programs like Cedartown and Calhoun. I feel like with Cedartown, though, just real quick, you're going to have a lot of guys playing other sports, baseball, obviously, just like Calhoun. You're going to have track and field, kids that really stay active throughout the year. What are your kind of plans with this group, and what do you just sense of how you guys have been able to meet today, but also begin this journey together during the off season?
Well, you know, I met the guys down in the weight room, and that's where it starts at Cedartown. And I'm going to tell you, the guy that runs the strength and speed program, who's a football coach and head track coach, Coach Worthington, if you know anything about strength and conditioning in this area, that's a name that jumps out as well. I mean, Cedartown's not just physical, they're strong. Let me rephrase that. We are strong. And, guys flying around, high intensity, the weight room being like a practice field. And so I attribute a lot of that to Coach Worthington and what he's done for a long time there. But just seeing the guys, how bought in they are, they're bright and early, and everybody flying around, lifting hard, a lot of enthusiasm. So certainly came out of there even more motivated.
And then, Coach, talk a little bit about this offseason's coaching carousel. Obviously, you had a great season this last year at Calhoun. Things are going well. The Cedartown job opens up. A lot of other big positions have opened as well. I know coaches will put their name out there, but I mean, is this something you saw happening throughout this year, or did this opportunity open up and you just were able to seize it afterwards?
Honestly, I've never really been one that has applied for jobs consistently. I was at Darlington for 21 years as the head football coach there, and then transitioned for a year and then came to Calhoun. And honestly, my intentions were to be back at Calhoun, because they're going to make another run at it again next year. But I've always said, being a Polk County native, being a guy from this neck of the woods, that is one of the positions that if it ever came available, I was certainly going to apply for it. I think timing is right for me. My daughter is actually a senior here at Calhoun. She's the last of my 4. And so I think timing was just right, and I think the position came available, and it was the right time to apply for it.
And then you mentioned your daughter's a senior. Has she decided where she's going to yet?
She is. She won't be too far, and she'll be in red and black like me. She's going to be a Jacksonville State Gamecock.
Fantastic. Fantastic. All right, and then what else is kind of up next for you? You had that initial meeting today. When are you really going to be able to get in the hallways over at Cedartown and take this thing over?
So the plan at this point is for me to transition out of Calhoun at the end of this month and to start on March 3rd at Cedartown. I'll certainly be a familiar face between now and then when I'm not, doing my duties here at Calhoun. So that's the plan. Probably, I guess, what's that, 2.5, 3 weeks, and then I'll be full-time in red and black.
That's right. And then obviously this last season you were able to call the offensive plays. You've already talked about some of the guys on the staff at Cedartown that have been there during this very successful run they've had. What's your overall impression so far of just the staff you're going to be working with, and maybe what role you see for yourself this year?
Well, I'll tell you this. They've got an outstanding group of guys down there. They've got a mix of seasoned veterans and some young guys, and they're all hungry. I had the opportunity to sit down with a number of them today. I told, when I interviewed for the job, I said this, and when I met with the team, I said this, and I said it to the coaches, and I stand by it. This is one of those situations where you don't have to fix what's not broken. And they've got it's a winning culture. They've done things the right way. And so obviously there are always going to be adjustments. There's obviously going to, still in the process of solidifying who wants to stay on staff and who's going to transition somewhere else. But the core is going to be there. The culture is not going to change in any form or fashion. The hard work, the relentless pursuit of just improvement is going to continue to be there, and the adjustments will be minor. And I look forward to going down there and just being the leader and jumping in and rolling my sleeves up too. So still identifying where the needs are for me. The thing, I've been doing this for so long that I've been involved. I've been quarterbacks coach, offensive coordinator, offensive line coach. I've coached the secondary and linebackers through the years. So, my role will be where it's needed based on the staff that I'm able to keep and the staff that I'm able to secure.
Well, Coach Atha, thank you so much for joining us today. Congratulations on the position. Glad you got to meet the guys today, and cannot wait to follow you guys in 2025. Best of luck in 4A, Coach.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity to be here, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs. All right, so there goes Coach Atha. Very excited for them, see what they're able to accomplish this season. Obviously coming off a great run this last year. Stay tuned, though. We'll be back on the other side to discuss our girls basketball rankings.
Georgia High School Sports Daily is presented by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. Transform your future today. And by Smart Local 85. Sheet metal is a smart move.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. We've got 3 segments left. It's going to be girls basketball rankings. We still have Adam Clack coming on, Parkview's new head coach, and our Super Bowl predictions. But right now, let's welcome back Najee Wilkins. We're going to go over the latest girls basketball rankings. Najee, before we get into it, though, you've been watching the girls season so far this year. Lots of defending state champions, programs we know have their eyes set on winning once again. But what maybe storyline or team are you looking forward to just watching this basketball season on the girls' side?
Well, 2 colleges that stick out in my mind is 6A and private. 6A, I think it is very talented. When we look at North Paulding with Ava Andrews, the Hickson sisters, they got a lot of talent, and it's going to be interesting to see them go up against North Forsyth. When you look at our rankings, you'll see North Forsyth is right at the top. They just landed the Player of the Year again in their region, which is obviously Landon Weaver, and also the Defensive Player of the Year, Sophia Park. So they got a really talented team. North Forsyth went down last year, obviously, to Marist. So, they're coming back. They want to win the title. They want to finish strong, especially for Landon Weaver in her career. And then you look at, obviously, North Paulding, a really good program, a great coach. down there. I think they're going to be very competitive. And then you can't talk about 6A without talking about Grayson. Grayson has a very talented team that's led by Tatum Brown, who's going to Jacksonville. They've beat up their rivals, Archer and Newton, all season long. They're right there. Nobody really gave them a chance. I think they lost all that great talent, but they're going to be right there in that conversation. And then private is going to be so intriguing when you look at the top two. Hebron Christian, looking at them battling without Aubrey Beckham this year. They've been great with Daniel Oshu and so many more stepping up to the fray. And then I think you got one of the most talented teams in the state, regardless of classification, in St. Francis. We've seen what they did in the Corkell Dave Hunter Classic. When we had that for the basketball, they have so many players that can score at a high level. Cameron, they have obviously Gianni Rogers. They got a very talented team, and I think it's going to make for a great championship game. Yeah, and Najee, I'm sure you'll agree with me. That Josie St. Francis game, that's as close to a playoff atmosphere we've seen. Yeah, I mean, 100%. Josie's the real deal. They show that they're going to be talented. They're coming from a very, tough, strong region. When you look at them, obviously they have, Thomas in there, Butler, and so many other great teams. So I think that's intriguing to see as well. You bet. All right, so in Class 6A, you mentioned North Forsyth. We got North Paulding. They've been on a tear. Grayson. We've seen Newton at number 5 getting big wins over teams like Archer. That's going to be a great region to watch. You see Grayson, Newton, Archer all there in the top 10. And then Campbell, I want to mention them real quick, Najee. So they're going to play Hillgrove tonight in their season finale. They beat Hillgrove 48-45 in the previous meeting. Campbell only has one loss within the state this year. That was to Harrison. I don't know if they had injuries going into that matchup, but to me, Campbell tonight going on the road against Hillgrove, not only is this a big test, but I think Hillgrove has what it takes to potentially get this victory. But what else do you see maybe potentially changing or shifting in these rankings heading into the final week? Yeah, Lowndes has some big ones coming up when you look at their schedule. They got to play Camden County on Saturday, and then they got a matchup also tonight against Richmond Hill. So I want to see how they're going to perform. I know they fell out of some rankings across the state of Georgia, but how would they continue to look? And as you mentioned, the Newton, Archer, Grayson, that region tournament is going to be very exciting. All great programs. And then I want to see Buford. Buford, obviously, I know their region tournament is set. But I want to see what they're able to do. They got a lot of good pieces there. How can they compete in that region, and will they come out with a number 1 seed with a very talented Mill Creek team that has one of the top players in the country, and Bella Ragone? Certainly. All right, Najee. Well, we've got 4 minutes left in this segment. Well, let's just let you do what you do. Let's get into each of these remaining 7 classifications. Talk real quick about 5A. What changed maybe this week? Not too much. River Ridge continues to be the top team. They've had that ranking in the past 3 to 4 weeks. They handled things against Pope this past week. They're done into the region tournament, 59-33 against Marietta. Hughes hammered Morrow 62-40, who's also a top 5 team. They're going to finish the season Morrow with Northgate. Milton is going to finish the season tonight also with Roswell. Warwick Academy continues to look good. They held off Tri-City 74-63 on the road. They're going to face off against Arabia Mountain tonight. So a big game there for them. And then Creekview demolished Sequoia 65-33 and Sprayberry 80-31. So their season is pretty much all wrapped up. And then Coffee, a team that obviously is newer to the poll the last 2 weeks, they're going to finish the season with Houston County and Lee County. But a team to watch for, they only have 1 loss all year. Certainly. And then Class 4A, we know how good Marist is with their talent, but Creekside, they've been holding on to that number 1 spot. Lots of challengers, though, throughout this top 10 in Class 4A. Yeah, 4A is going to be so intriguing. You look at the top, they obviously have the head coach or the coach of the year in their region, Kenia Ellis. She's done a great job. And then Sienna Dennis, co-player of the year, along with Devin Bachman of Midtown. So Creekside having a really great run. Marist is going to finish off the season tonight with Lithonia, obviously Kate Harper, and so many more. They're going to be great. Kale, you can never sleep on them, and their great program with Kendra Bailey at the helm. They've been excited. And Midtown, had a really big win against Maynard Jackson this past week, 59-50. Haley Wortman, she had 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 6 blocks. So that's going to be intriguing to see how they're going to shape out. But I say any of these teams in that top 10 can make a run. Obviously, it's top heavy with the top 4, but don't sleep on Norfolk, Coney, Jones, Midtown, Jackson, Atlanta. They all can make a run to the Final 4. And then real quick, Class 3A, you have looks like Pickens at the top. They are 20-2. Obviously, Baldwin's in that classification also at number 6. I believe they're the defending champs. Lots of great teams right there. We only have 2 minutes left, so let's go straight to Class 2A. Break down this one. This one seems to be wide open, Najee. Yeah, it is. I mean, you got so many teams playing, as we mentioned a little bit earlier. Thompson is in the same region as Josie, Butler. So all those teams are going at it. Thompson ended up beating Butler this past week. They're going to play tonight again. Josie's going to play versus Glen Hills. Murray County has been phenomenal all year long. Only one loss. They're going to be a team to beat. Picked up some big wins this past week against Union County. And then obviously you have Butler. Butler is another really good team that will have a lot to say. And last but not least, I want to talk about Tatnall County. They play Meadow on tomorrow, and they play Toombs County tonight. Another really good team at the number 8 spot.
All right, let's get into our Class A's real quick. Class A Division 1, then we'll go into Class A Division 2 real quick. Who do you like going into this final week?
I really like Elbert County. They've been great all year long. Haven't really had two mishaps. They're going to play against, obviously, Commerce tonight. The game to watch, though, is Fannin County Christian Heritage. They're going to play tonight. That's a top-end matchup. I've been kind of on the fence, Craig, with that one, with Christian Heritage. But if they win that one, I might put them in my top 10.
And then Class A Division 2, you have a lot of faith in Taylor County. They're leading you at number 1. What do you like about them?
Yeah, they've been good. They had a bad loss. I'm probably going to have to move Macon County up. Macon County handled their business 48-32. So that was my reason for moving them up. Macon County was 7 the week before. They're number 5. They're probably going to move up some more. Taylor County has been handling their business, but I might have to change the poll a little bit after that loss.
And then Class A 3A private, you got Hebron Christian at number 1. What other team other than St. Francis do you think has what it takes? I mean, I look at a team like Mount Perrin with Jessica Fields. Looks like they might have a chance also.
They have a phenomenal coach. They've been there. They've done that. They know how to win. They've won the championships before with Jessica Fields at the helm. So that is another team, obviously, with championship experience. We'll have something to say. I got them as a Final Four team. I think the team to watch for that no one's talking about, Holly Innocence and also Southwest Atlanta Christian. Southwest Atlanta Christian's had a great year this past year, Craig. They got a very talented backcourt. They should be a team to watch. And Holy Innocence because of, obviously, Haley Swain. She is phenomenal. She's a McDonald's All-American, and for good reason. If she gets hot, she's one of those players like similar to Kate Harpering. She could take over and lead her team to victory.
Funny story, I saw Southwest Atlanta Christian win the state title probably 10 years ago. They had 6 girls on their entire roster, and one was the cheerleader where they just had her on the bench in case anything happened. It's a very small school, but they've got some serious talent, and they've been able to do incredible things. I've never seen anything like it, so certainly don't count them out. But we'll be back on the other side. Thank you so much, Najee, for breaking down those rankings. We're going to have Adam Clack on the show to talk about his new position at Parkview.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Dang, where you get this car?
You need to join the union.
The union?
Absolutely. You can get 10 of these.
Union construction workers earn the highest wages with the best benefits and the most protection in the construction industry. Find your career in construction. Go to GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com and start your future today.
A journeyman with Local 85, when you turn out, you can be hitting 6 figures.
Hey, I have your back, you have my back. We're gonna do this together. We're one for all for one.
College just wasn't for me. Let's look into actual career jobs that wouldn't take college, where I wouldn't, lose money and all that. Instead of losing a lot more money at the end, why not make money and make more money at the end?
What happens after you graduate? Will you go to the next level? Will people have your back in the heat of the battle? Will you still train like a champion in pursuit of greatness? You will when you become an IBEW electrician. Join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
All right, welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Right now, we will waste no time to bring on Adam Clack, Parkview's new head coach, to talk to him about the Panthers. Coach Clack, how's it going?
Going great, man. How you doing?
Doing well. So first question I want to ask just is about the overall hype and excitement around the hiring at Parkview. I was actually, I was very happy to see just the kind of the respect your name has earned in the state of Georgia, the coverage of the hire, giving you the recognition for what you've been able to do at Milton. Were you kind of taken aback maybe by the level of support you saw just from people around this hire and kind of how excited they are to have you back in Georgia?
I don't know if taken aback is the right word. You don't ever want to assume or expect anything. Very proud of what we were able to achieve from 2017 to 2021, and then the level of success that those guys have been able to sustain and elevate on. One of the more proud things I am is seeing those guys who, from Coach Reeves to the entire staff, has been able to do with that. So, having a warm reception with that and people recognizing that we did something really special there and they're continuing to do something special absolutely brings a big smile to my face. And I can tell you that the reception here has been nothing short of just awesome. The positivity in the community, the positivity in the hallways. Just got to meet with the middle school guys today. Had our first parent meeting on Wednesday, and stood around and shook hands for about an hour, and it was just awesome to feel the support.
Absolutely. And then walk us through just what this the last few months have been like. It seems like it probably has been a whirlwind just with the coaching carousel. But, I mean, have you been able to take that sigh of relief now that you're settled into Parkview and really do what you enjoy doing and laying out your vision?
Yeah, whirlwind. Believe it or not, I really did not expect to come back to the sideline this year. As I stepped down from Milton and went to the University of Charlotte, and then bounced overseas to Paris to coach with the Paris Musketeers, and me and my wife came back, and her job's in Alpharetta, so we settled back down there. And moving 5 times in 2 years, realizing I'm not 25 anymore, and didn't want to drag her all over the world and back, anymore. We settled in, and I started looking to start some training services. And so this last year I've been, doing a lot of different things and kind of throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. And I was excited doing that and felt like we were starting to build some momentum with Flag Factory, a company we started with flag football and the Adam Clack Football Academy, which was really more geared towards, coach development, leadership, program building. But I always kept my eye out, and January 15th, I saw Parkview open up, and I just kind of had that feeling like, I don't know, maybe there's something there. And I remember when I said it to my wife first, she was like, "Man, you are all over the place." And I started laughing, but without reaching out, Miss Grantham, Coach Grantham, the athletic director over here, she reached out to me, and we started talking, and I started doing some homework, reaching out, asking about her. Heard nothing but amazing feedback on her, because number one, a criteria for me to even come back was, will I have the support? So I had to find that first, that support from the principal and the athletic director. I mean, that's a non-negotiable. If you want to be a great program, you got to have that. And I felt that immediately. And then number two, do I believe we can turn this into a real winner? And I did my homework there, and identified the things that I believe are current issues that need to be resolved or addressed, and then ask myself, is it something that I believe I can do? Is it something that I'm equipped to do? Something that the community is ready for? And as we sat and talked, probably 3 hours, and then I started walking this campus. And I believe that same Parkview that I grew up looking at in the 90s and then admiring in the 2000s and still, even into my coaching career, could never quite get over the hump with these guys. And I believe it's 100% still here, and I cannot wait to put my plan into place. It already is. We hit the ground running to put the plan in place to really engage this community. And like I said, with the middle school today, that's where it's going to have to start, engaging those young men and really solidifying that pipeline back into this high school that that can thrive. And I'm just excited to add to the pedigree that is already so terrific.
100%. And then you mentioned Milton, and what stands out about them going into the season, obviously the region win streak, that consistency. And I mean, it's pretty amazing no matter how many guys they lose. The next guys are ready to go when they step into their role. That comes from development. Places like Parkview, we're going to have the talent. We know how good the middle school program is, but I mean, how big is it, do you think, this year for you to really jumpstart that development process of these underclassmen? You're going to find guys that may be ready to play now, but just being able to look at this team, but just be able to build the young guys up right away.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I come in this year, I hope we win every ball game, and we're gonna do our best to put a product out there that is going to be competitive and give the fans and give the guys who are currently in the on the roster the best opportunity to win that we know how to do. But success for me in year one is kind of a threefold operation. Is we gotta win this locker room. I gotta surround them with great men who can help carry out this vision that we're gonna have and get the team together. Along with that, we've got to engage our community, our parents, the alumni, the collective community that makes up Parkview and this cluster that we operate out of. But then that third step, and what I love about just the Gwinnett model, and I didn't realize how tight this cluster system is. The fact that you have one middle school, the fact that you have 4 elementary schools and a park that all feed into one high school. I mean, that's where it's got to be one. So, as I say, 1, 2, and 3, those are not in order. I mean, they are 1, 1, and 1. And so we're going to hit the ground running and provide the guys, the young men in this cluster with so many opportunities and so much connection back to this school that, they're not going to have to look outside of Lilburn to find what they need and to know that they're getting, the best of the best when it comes to their development and their ability to not only be great football players, but to be great young men in the community and take all the values that I hold dear with what high school football can provide to someone's life.
Yeah, and Coach, I mean, every game on the schedule is obviously important, but in terms of just the rivalries, obviously Parkview is a great one with Brookwood. It gives the players that extra motivation. They're going up against guys they know. How excited are you to be at a program that has the rich history, but also has these big rivalry matchups on the schedule where you guys can use that to really get energized and get up and play to that level?
Oh yeah, and I came from one of those, and I think there's 3 or 4 rivalries in this state that really separate. Kind of like college football. Is it Alabama and Auburn? Is it Michigan and Ohio State? Go down the list. Parkview and Brookwood. I mean, I remember it was 2001 or 2002, and I'm coming back home for Thanksgiving break, Christmas break, or I guess it's Christmas break. And, I'm on that field because I've got buddies who are Parkview guys and Brookwood guys, and we're watching them play in the state championship. And I still don't know that I've ever seen an atmosphere quite like that. And the history and the tradition that goes into that rivalry. I mean, we still have a bonfire and everybody gets excited. Man, I mean, that's what it's all about. There's no atmosphere like a healthy Friday night that can stop a community in its tracks and everybody come there. And that's really one thing that attracted me to this is, I love that tradition. I love that pedigree. I love the opportunity that we can stand on the shoulders of giants and know that, we've got to do our part now to respect it, but now to move it forward. Not look back, but look forward and understand that, we are going to take ownership of what has come before us. But it's our job now to become the best versions of what Parkview is in 2025, to truly respect the past that has been gifted to us.
Certainly. Well, Coach Clack, we are all looking forward to seeing you guys in 2025. And the Panthers, congratulations. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you soon, Coach.
Appreciate it, man. Take care.
All right, there goes Coach Clack. All right, stay tuned. We've got one more segment left, our Super Bowl predictions. Let's do it. Welcome back to the Georgia High School Sports Daily. Right now, we've got a special segment, our Super Bowl predictions. We're joined by Mass Waborski, Hayden Gilbert, and Najee Wilkins. We've got 4 categories to get to. We're going to predict our final score, obviously the winner, the MVP of the game, who's going to score the first touchdown, and then over-under has been set at 49 points. We'll make our picks. Do we think it's going to be more high-scoring or less? But let's start things off like this. Max and Hayden, what are your plans for the big game?
Hanging out with some friends, going to sit down, watch the game, eat some good food, just enjoy it. It's going to be one of the best football games we've seen in a while.
Yep.
I'm just going to hang out and watch the game, just do what I do most years. Hope the Chiefs lose.
Oh, no. All right. And then Najee, any plans yet?
Yeah, my dad is a Eagles fan, so I think they're having like a little Super Bowl party, so I probably will go out there.
Yeah, well, that means one of us is going to win, so that's good. It's either going to be your dad, Najee, or me. Well, one of us will be very happy. I'm probably going to watch it with my mom. I might need to borrow one of those things that like a falconer uses because she's going to be digging her fingernails into my arm. Certainly she'll be stressed out about this one. big opportunity for the Chiefs to make some history. Let's go ahead and start with our predictions, though. I think we probably have a graphic up. The final score. So we'll start with Najee. He is the lone score correspondent that has picked the Eagles 27-24. Looks like we all believe it's going to be a close game, though. Najee, why did you go with the score 27-24?
I think the Chiefs are a phenomenal football team. It's definitely not going to be easy, but I think the Eagles have their true missing piece that they've been missing over the course of the last few years. Now, they played y'all a few years ago. Jalen Hurts absolutely balled out, did what he was supposed to do in that big win. But I think when you have a Saquon Barkley who won Offensive Player of the Year, rushed for over 2,000 yards, he makes the defense more honest. And I think that bows into the favor of the Eagles, because let's say the Chiefs come out with a stacked box to stop Saquon 8 or 9. They do have elite corners, but then you got an elite weapon too. You got Dallas Goedert over the middle of the field that you can use and different things, blocking and releasing over the intermediate seam routes, and you got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as well, and a very underrated guy, Jahan Dotson. So I feel like that's going to help them out a lot. And then this defense, the key to beating the Chiefs is you got to have a front four that can get home without pressure. I feel like they have that, and I feel like they can affect Mahomes a little bit. Not saying that they're going to stop him, but you got to affect him in the big moments. I think they're going to be able to do that. All right, so you've got Eagles 27-24, your MVP, Saquon Barkley. Hayden, he's got Chiefs 24-21. Max, 31-27 Chiefs. I've got the reverse score of Najee, 27-24 Chiefs. All right, real quick, I want to ask both of you, what do you think the key to beating this Chiefs team is? To me, it is you cannot let them have the ball last. You've got to use the clock management and try to get that game-winning drive at the end and not give them another chance.
I agree. I think the Eagles had the right plan last time around. They held the ball, I think, for around like 20 minutes in the first half to like the Chiefs 7 minutes, just really keeping the ball away from Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know. I just think that if the Chiefs get the ball last, it's going to be over for the Eagles.
Yep, and then Hayden, your keys to beating them?
I think it's very similar. Play a clean game, keep it close until late, and just hope to God you can hold the ball last and drive down the field. Like both times that like when the Bengals beat them, it was just having the ball last and driving down the field.
Yep. All right, well, we got 2 minutes left. Let's throw up our MVPs real quick. We already mentioned Najee's going with Saquon, Hayden, Xavier Worthy, and then Max and myself, we both have Patrick Mahomes getting it. We will see, though. And then the first touchdown scorer, pretty interesting right here. 4 different names. We got Najee with Devontae Smith, Hayden, Saquon Barkley, Max, Xavier Worthy, and I'm going with Kareem Hunt in the red zone. It's been a big weapon for them, having a great year filling in. And then we've got a minute left now. The over-under 49 points. Looks like Najee's going with the over, Max going with the over, I'm going with the over. Not by much. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a shootout. But Hayden, you believe it's going to be under 49 points. What gives you confidence in that?
I think more than anything, we're looking at 2 of the best defenses in the league, and you look at especially the front sevens, and you look at just these teams as a whole, and you kind of look at it and you go, I think the over/under is low anyways, and I just think, especially if the Chiefs win, which I picked them when I hope they don't, it's going to be a low-scoring kind of fist fight game that they kind of pull out in the end.
And then Najee, we got 30 seconds left. Any other thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, last but not least, just real quick, we didn't talk about the Eagles' defense. They got a lot of young guys. They are a prime example of how you build an NFL team, right? They paid their guys on the offense, and these young guys are stepping up. Quayon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean.
All right, well, there you have it. Our Super Bowl predictions. We'll be back on Monday to see how it plays out. Thank you so much for joining us. Go to scoreatl.com. We'll have coverage all weekend long, and we'll be back on Monday. Hope everyone has a good weekend.
No, just take it off. Safety violation, unsafe work conditions.
In the construction trades unions, safety is our highest priority, and we train you to recognize and speak out on unsafe working conditions so that everyone arrives and goes home safely. Learn about careers in construction at GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com.
Beginning the morning you opened your eyes, we spent every waking moment preparing you for the day you'd leave our nest. Whether it's driving to practice or helping with homework, it's all prepared you for, what am I going to be when I grow up? Will you be ready?
After much thought, I made my decision to take my talents to the IBEW Local 613.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers is not simply a job, it's a career. Visit IBEW613.org to begin a new future today.
We celebrate the athletes, the buzzer beaters, the record breakers, the wins. Now, it's time to celebrate the people behind it all. The advice givers, the community shapers, the game changers, the life changers. It's time to celebrate our coaches. Join all of us at BSN Sports and show your coach some love by sharing their story with #ThankYouCoach.
Are you interested in becoming a deputy or a jailer? The Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office is hiring and looking for individuals passionate about protecting and serving their community. If you are 18 years or older, join our team by visiting gogcso.com for more information. Gwinnett County, together we can make a difference.